Hello. Woo. Okay, hi, I'm Sarah Barker, and I wanted to make a video to get my mind off of what's about to happen in a little bit over 30 minutes. And I thought, hey, you know what? I'm going to record this because this is actually my go-to in moments like this. And I'll share it with you in case you're ever in a situation like this and you want to try something out that might work for you. So I am getting ready to defend my dissertation. Oh, wow. So I'm very nervous. My stomach is pretty much on fire right about now. There's like 1,000 monarch butterflies going off in there. So if you're ever in a situation like that, great for new teachers, maybe you've never been in front of a classroom, uh, you know, any kind of situation where you can feel that anxiety kicking in. So you'll hear ideas like this from all over, actually. I got certified as an embodiment coach through an organization called Embodiment Unlimited. And these ideas are old and come from all over the place, including neuroscience. You might be hearing my cat do a zoomy right now. So nervousness, anxiety. Sometimes when we're feeling those butterflies in the belly, if that's something that sounds familiar to you, it can feel like a very fine line between abject fear and excitement. Speaking for myself, I think it's because those feelings in my belly feel very similar. So either way, I find that I do better, I perform better, and I also feel better while performing if I can get a little bit centered before I need to perform. So if you feel like joining me, I'm standing up right now. And as I look at the camera here, although I'm looking at the camera, I've just directed my attention into the bottoms of my bare feet. And you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm breathing in through my nose. Breathing out through my nose slash mouth, reach out to me if you want to know more about the kind of breath that I'm doing. But I'm directing that breath actually to my feet. And you can also breathe this out through your mouth, sending that out breath to the bottoms of my feet and letting my feet sink into the ground. Really just meaning that I'm putting on my weight, not trying here, but letting my weight, the weight of my body while I'm standing, sink into the ground. So I'm still very nervous right now. Okay. Um, I can also really feel, even in a more nuanced way, the butterflies in my stomach. By the way, I taught in the classroom for almost 20 years, and I hate being in front of an audience. So this is a technique that I did before class for almost 20 years to help me negotiate how uncomfortable it was for me to speak in front of a room full of people every day for almost 20 years, and how I could relax into that, be present with my students, and kind of lean into the discomfort of doing something that was not really necessarily aligned with my natural inclination. Yeah. If you're still with me, you might notice that I haven't really moved my lower body. You can tell just because I haven't really moved much. That's because my weight are still really anchored into my feet. I can do things like this and yeah, still anchored into my feet. A lot of times when I'm going to shake it out a little bit, a lot of times when we slow down like this, we panic. We panic because we can feel all of the anxiety. Not everybody, right? You may not relate to this. And in other words, in which case, no problem. Just keep on surfing. If this does sound familiar to you, then this can oftentimes be when we stop the practice right then and there. We can feel that feeling arising in the body. We don't want to feel it. Yeah, we don't want to feel it. And so we might look for things to reach for, like our phone, other things that we reach for, so as not to feel it. So I find that if you can, and this is something that I actually got from my certification training with Embodiment Unlimited, if you can set your timer, this is what I learned from them, and I use it myself. If you can set your timer maybe 5 times a day, and just do something like this activity, and there's more to it, but just do something like this 5 times a day, even if it's just for a few moments. Particularly when you're feeling anxiety, if you're feeling, and again, maybe you're thinking to yourself, but I don't notice those things. And that's why we practice. That's how we, cultivate the ability to nip things in the bud, to my view anyway. So, yeah, if you want to know more about any of this, just reach out to me. And woo, still nervous, but feeling way more centered and ready to do my best. So wish me luck and take care.